Okay, and you are watching It's Kathy and Us. If you want to be part of the Us, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on your post notifications so you guys can get notified every time I upload a video. And if you are interested in watching today's video, I'm going to tell you a little story. So this is kind of like a little mini story time based on a picture that popped up on my Facebook memories that reminded me of that night and other nights. So there will be other videos for sure, but I can't speak about them all today. So this video would just be about maybe one or two stories, one or two pictures I ran across. I kind of was like scared that I set myself up in a way and I'd be caught somehow. Not like I was cheating, but you know what I mean. I'm gonna be using my Jaclyn Hill palette volume 2. Shout out to my brother-in-law. He got it for my sisters and I. And which is also a funny story because normally I really suck at getting back to DMs, and so he has done this before where he's like, oh, whoever replies in like whatever amount of time, I'll buy this for you, you know. So I've lost a few times, but it's okay. I'm like not a sore loser. So, and it's my fault because I don't check my DMs when I need to. So this time, luckily, my boss had just let us go from work. So we were supposed to be going home, and he didn't think, I think he didn't think anyone was gonna read it within the 5 seconds that he gave us. And ironically, I did for the first time ever, only because I was going to call my mom to ask her where she was at so I could meet up with her and Katie. I don't know if it was my mom or my dad, but one of them, but I won it. And he thought no I was gonna win it, so the joke was low-key on him. Anyways, so that's how I got this palette. I wanted to get the first one, but I never did. Because I feel like luckily I have enough palettes, and a lot of palettes kind of have the similar colors, and I don't like to do that. I like to have different colored palettes, you know? The reason why all of this came to my mind was on my couch, okay? I was just sitting there doing nothing, and I just went to Facebook. I don't know why, I don't really go to Facebook much, but I went to Facebook, and when I went to Facebook, the picture that popped up was this one, okay? Yeah, so that picture right there, and this is what happened that day. So that day we went out with a group of friends. We met up at my friend's house, and it was like about maybe 8 of us, probably. I don't know, we used to kind of roll deep all the time when we used to go clubbing, but it was about 8 of us. I don't remember what the occasion was, but we were going. And at the time, I don't remember how old I was, but I will tell you my relationship status, okay? My status in that year was, I want to say single, but I can't really say single because I was talking to someone, but I was also like not serious with the person. I'm not gonna say his name, but this ex-boyfriend of mine, we had been together for a very long time, and we were in that like talk but don't, like we were in that phase where we talked but not really, like we were trying to just move on. Okay, I swear the dog was not barking right before I turned the camera on. I finished doing my makeup. I have my blanket, guys. I'm just gonna finish this story because I actually do not have time. My damn camera has been dying for the past 10 minutes, and this thing is already 10 minutes long. So basically what happened is, remember I told you, I forgot where I left off, but well, that night it was a group of like 8-9 of us friends. We met up at my friend's house, and from there we went to this club called Roomba Room in City Walk. I don't know if that's still called, if that club, I don't know if you guys have ever been there, but it was on the 2nd floor. I don't know if it's still called Roomba Room, but that's what it was back then, right? And so we had gone over there, and we had taken selfies before the night. And like basically what happened was like after the club, after we had like had a good time and everything, we were getting ready to leave. And as we're getting ready to leave, I get a text message from this guy I was talking to at that time, right? And he was like, hey, what's up? I'm just getting out of the club. What are you up to? And I was like, nothing, just getting out of the club too, you know, leaving the club. And we got in a car, we left that place, and we started heading to my friend's house. And as we're getting to my friend's house, I get a phone call, and I'm like, oh, it's probably this guy. And I'm like, okay, so I answered quick. I didn't even look or anything, I just answered. And I'm like, hello? He's like, hey, what's up? And then he was like, what are you doing? And I was like, nothing, just getting out of the club. And you? He was like, nothing. He's like, what club are you at? I was like, room. And he was like, oh, all right. And then he was like, and I should have, and when I heard his voice and I heard him say, oh, all right, I was like, oh, this is not the new guy. And I looked at my phone, it was my ex. And I was like, huh? My ex was telling me that he wanted to hang out. Someone that like, I had not talked to in a while, so it was kind of like, what the heck moment, you know? I was like, oh, yeah, I was like, we're leaving the club, you know, lies. I was already in the car, almost about to get to my friend's house. And then he was like, oh, he's like, what club are you at? And whatever, I had already told him, right? And he's like, oh, I'm on my way over there. I was like, on your way over there? And he was over here, and he was like, yeah. And he's like, I was like, no. I was like, I'm leaving already though. I'm with my friends. We're about to get in the car to like go home. And he was like, oh, all right, so what's your friend's address? I'll pick you up from there. And I was like, what do you mean? You know, like, I didn't know. I was kind of getting like, you know? And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, yeah, I'm gonna pick you up. He's like, give me the address so that by the time I get there, you're already there. And I was like, or whatever, vice versa, something like that, right? And I was like, oh, I was like, no. I was like, the thing is that like my friend is drunk. And he was like, I was like, so I don't know what we're really gonna do. So I kind of started putting myself more in a hole, right? And he was like, well, come hang out with me, like I'm gonna pick you up or whatever. I was like, oh, well, let me call you back, you know? I was like, let me get there first and then I'll tell you where I'm at. And he was like, all right, but for reals. But as we're on the phone, you could hear that he's turning on his car, so he's serious. Like, and you could hear it because it's one of those that when you turn the key on, it's like, you know? And so I was like, oh, he's not joking. So I was like, oh, dang. So then I tell my friend, right, let's name my friend, let's call her Anna. So I tell Anna, I was like, Anna, dude, I was like, Anna, guess who just called me? I was like, he wants to hang out. And oh, well, you should, you know, she knew him or whatever, and she was like, oh, we'll go. And I was like, I know, but I don't know if I should, you know, because I kind of felt weird because I was already talking to this new guy. So I was like, oh, I don't know if I should. I don't know if it's a good idea, you know. And plus, because we had a history, I didn't want to rekindle any feelings, you know, type of thing. But so she's like, no, just go. And I was like, all right. So then I called him back, and I was like, all right, well, as I'm calling him back, guess who calls? I'm lying. As I'm calling back, I get a text message from the new guy saying I'm outside. And I'm like, it had been like, I want to say like 7 minutes, 10 minutes or something like that. And he's like, I'm outside. And I was like, outside? I didn't think he was talking to me. I thought like, oh, he probably sent the wrong text to the wrong person, you know? So I was like, whatever. So I wasn't thinking of anything. So I was like, I'm going to call my ex and I'll be like, yeah, I'm going to come through, you know? Or whatever. We were going to figure it out. So I was like, I'm calling him. I was kind of like, what do you mean you're outside, about the text? But I didn't pay it any mind because no one had talked about meeting each other anywhere, you know? So I was like, okay. So as I'm calling my ex to tell him like I'm on the phone with him, and I'm like, yeah, all right, well, I was like, but you're crazy, are you sure? And he was like, yeah, I'll pick you up. I was like, I don't know, let me see. And right then and there, the new guy is calling. Like right as I'm on the line, you hear like the other line. I'm like, don't tell me he's at my house. He's calling me to tell me he's at my house, because he was spontaneous like that. So I was like, ooh, he might just do that, he might just be outside. And I was like, dang. So I go and I'm like, I had to real quick change my story, be like, you know what, I can't, because like she's like, my friend Anna, she's like really drunk. She drank too much and she's kind of sick, and I need to make sure she gets home safe, and blah, 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 blah. And he was like, nah, but all right, well, he's like, and he knew her, so he was like, all right, just make sure she's fine, and then call me in like in 20 minutes, put her to sleep, call me in 20 minutes, and then we'll go from there. And I was like, all right, cool. I was not gonna call him back. So I hang up with him, and I was like, phew, that's it, right? So I call and I answered now with the other line, and then I was like, hello, and he was like, hey. He's like, where you at? I was like, at my friend's house. And he was like, oh, I thought you were you were getting out of the club. I was like, yeah, but we came to hang out at my friend's house. And he was like, oh, well, I'm outside. I was like, outside where? And I was like, ooh, is he outside of, let's call her Rosemary. I was like, is he outside of Rosemary's house? No, he doesn't know her address. So I was like, wait, he's outside of my house then, because he knew where I lived. So I was like, ooh, I was like, outside of where? And he was like, outside your house. And I was like, oh, you didn't tell me that, like, you know. He was like, oh, well, I'm here. I had like whoop-de-whoop drop me off. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay, well, I'll see you in like 15-20 minutes. Let me just finish doing something with the girls. He was like, all right. So dude, I was like, oh, thank God I didn't give him any like real definite answer. I didn't give him like like the ex, I didn't give him a definite answer, right? So I was like, thank God, go, whatever, all that. And I get home, whatever, I go upstairs first to make sure that my parents are asleep, everything's okay, that, you know, we're not waking or disturbing anybody. So we go upstairs. I think they were having like a movie night or something though. But I go upstairs to change, and as I'm changing to come back down and like open the door for him, my ex calls again, and I'm like, hello? He's like, what happened with her? And I was like, he's like, so what's up? Where you at? And I was like, oh, well, no, I'm right here, dude. Like, but it's because she's really drunk. It's really hard. He's like, I'll help you. He's like, I'll help you so we can drop her off when she needs to know. Like, oh no, we're just gonna spend the night here, dude, but I don't want to leave her alone. Lie again, right? Point is that, like, I felt so terrible because he kept saying like, no, but I'll cook you breakfast, like I'll pick you up, we don't have to do anything, trust me, we're not gonna do anything, we're just gonna hang out. We'll have a good time, we'll just watch movies and hang out, don't worry. I just want to see you, you know, want to talk and like, you know, make you breakfast in the morning or whatever. And I was like, you know, he was trying to convince me, and I felt so bad, but I couldn't tell him like, oh yeah, except my new boy is here, so that's why I'm not coming, you know. So I had to just be like, no, it's because of my friend, but you know, we'll hang out next time, I promise, or whatever. And guess what, that was the last time he ever hit me up again. But I have more stories because I have more pictures that I found, and I will tell you about another one, if not one story, about 2 stories regarding 2 pictures that I have. This one was too long and it was so complicated because I didn't want to give too much detail, but just enough so you guys understood what happened that night. And that night I was like nervous. I was like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? Like, I don't know if I should go here or if I should go there. Why didn't you tell me you were coming? But like, you're already there. I guess it just worked out. I don't know, because the new guy is Marco, so Katie's dad, you know. Anyways, but if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button if you like this video. This is kind of my first story time because I've never no one really knows about this unless you were there. Anyways, if you liked today's video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, share it, and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, I will be posting a video every week. Normally I do it on Tuesdays. If I don't do it Tuesdays, it's Thursdays, but I don't know, sometimes it changes. I hope you guys are all staying safe due to this quarantine. Make sure that you're taking every precaution you can as possible to avoid contact with people and spreading this virus. Turn on your post notifications so you guys could get notified every time I upload a video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember to live life happily and grateful.